Good evening and welcome to Center Stage with ICS Theatre. We have a really exciting interview coming up with a very special guest tonight. He is an accomplished actor of considerable renown who is greatly revered in the world of Indian theatre and cinema. He was awarded the Padma Shri Award in 1990 and the Sangeet Natak Academy Award in 1996 for his work in theatre. He made his debut as an actor in Marathi theatre with a brilliant performance as Nana Fadnavis in Vijay Tendulkar's highly celebrated play Ghashiram Kotwal. Any guesses on who this guest might be? Okay, let me give you some more hints on his various achievements through the years. He has worked in some greatly acclaimed Marathi plays as well as award-winning films in several languages. His debut Marathi language film was Samna by Jabbar Patel, and he first appeared in Hindi cinema in Nishan by Shyam Benegal. He later went on to play a plethora of characters in films such as Akrosh by Priyadarshan, Richard Attenborough's Gandhi, Satyajit Ray's Sadgati, Meera Nair's Mississippi Masala, and Bollywood blockbusters like Trimurti, Rang De Basanti, and Ab Tak Chappan. In recent years, he has been involved in films focused on socio-cultural issues such as Astu, Dithi, and Kasar, which have gotten rave reviews and won many accolades. In his lifetime, he has won several national and international awards for his contribution to the arts, and he continues to captivate audiences with his exceptional performances through theatre, films, and television even today. I think you all must have guessed it by now, right? It is my great honor and privilege to be talking with none other than Dr. Mohan Agashe. Welcome to Center Stage with ICS Theatre, Dr. Agashe.
Hello, hello, hello.
Thank you so much for sharing your valuable time with us today, and especially valuable because I understand it's your birthday today. So from all of us at ICS Theatre, I wish you a very happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Agashe, I'm going to jump right into our questions and answers because I know you have a lot to share with us and it's your special day, so I won't keep you too long. Dr. Agashe, most of our viewers know you as an actor in films, television, theater. Not many probably know that you are also a well-known psychiatrist. You have an MBBS and an MD degree in psychiatry, and you have been serving as a professor of psychiatry in Pune for many years now. So I want to talk to you a little bit about your career as a psychiatrist and get your invaluable insights on this subject. Now, culturally, these issues are always pushed under the rug and considered taboo in a country like India, especially. What are some of the challenges you have faced and that you typically face in bringing these issues to the forefront, like you have always done?
Well, as you know, things happen very naturally to me. See, my life flew, easily. Unlike when we construct a house, we make plans first and then try to follow. I didn't do that with my life. I took life as it came. And like all of us, I started acting when I was 2 or 3 years old. All of you do. But that time our audience is very selective. We select our audience, our parents, our teachers. We show to our teachers how our parents are, or to show to our parents how our teachers are. Right. And then peer, we do mimicries. So we learn about world, about life through acting. Like we learn talking, we imitate adults. And it's only when we start reading and writing that we have to use our cognitive part of our brain. you know. But otherwise, it's basically imitating acting. And then we also start with other so-called extracurricular activities, which are all connected with our sensory systems. So seeing, listening, those kind of things, they are connected with your seeing or listening or smell or taste. So all our performing activities during our curricular career are termed extracurricular, and which help us to live our life with happiness or unhappiness or whatever it is. And curricular things help us to recognize our abilities so that we can survive. So becoming a doctor was much late in life. I mean, I was already 18 years old when I entered medical college. And what generally happens is, as you progress in your curricular life, as you progress, your wings, which are called extracurricular activities, get gradually cut. So by the time you reach your 12th or last year of school, घर में बोलता है वो बंद करो नाटक फाटक खेलना मिलना पढ़ाई करो, right?
Right.
And that's the surest way that how we can stop flying, because by the time you reach your professional career, you are left with no wings. Yeah. In my case, it didn't happen. I joined medical college. The last of my extracurricular activity, which would have been cut, that was acting, I decided to continue. And because I met Japar Patel, I met several people who were good. And so medicine come later in my life, acting came first. And it continued. So I'm just going to shut off my telephone so that, power off. So nobody dares to call me anymore. Yeah, good. As you know, whole day this is what I've been doing.
But that's good.
That's how it is, because there used to be an intercollegiate competition called Push Up. And BJ Medical College got it 4 times out of 5 because of Japar.
Right.
So my life in theater and my life in medicine grew together. So like 2 legs. So I had a very balanced life. Because I stood on 2 legs, not on one. Good.
That's great. That's great. So you have always, been a pioneer in bringing new movements and using your
movement is not a political strategy.
No, absolutely not.
Movements are retrospective, not prospective. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my life happened like that.
Yeah.
One thing is sure, one small thing. I went to medical college not because it was my decision. At the age of 17, in a middle class family in Pune,
right,
you are so overprotected. You don't know about life. You don't know anything about the world. You don't know about yourself.
Yeah.
So the decisions are made. If you get good marks, you go to engineering, go to medical. It's only if you don't get good marks, your brain starts functioning. In my case, unfortunately, I got good marks. So the decision was taken that you have to go to medical. Once you go to medical, you don't have to think for 5 years because you have to study and give your exams. it's only after my MBBS, my basic medical degree, that I knew
Yeah.
that I came to medicine not because I wanted, but because it was all decided for me. And in these 5 years, what I learned, my first conscious decision was, if I'm going to do any post-graduation, it will be psychiatry and not any other branch. So if I didn't get a post in psychiatry, I wouldn't have done post-graduation.
Hmm.
I would have done general practice,
Hmm.
but I got the post. So doing psychiatry was my first conscious decision. And during psychiatry, I realized that I couldn't stop doing theater.
Hmm.
So after doing my post-graduation, my second conscious decision was, I'm not going to have a private practice because it demands your evenings, and private practice is one man.
Hmm.
Tambu बोलते हैं इसको. And I fortunately had a post of lecturer in psychiatry.
Hmm.
I preferred that,
Right.
and I joined medical college because in a medical college setup, the patient comes to a particular unit and not to a particular person.
Hmm.
So Monday, Wednesday, Friday by outpatient department, that's unit 1.
Hmm.
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is unit 2.
Wow.
So your patients are used to come not to a doctor but to a unit. It's very important, you know.
Right, right. Of course.
And then after 6 hours free.
Wow.
In psychiatry, there were no medical emergencies of death and life. There were
Right.
psychiatric emergencies, but
Hmm.
not dealing with life and death.
Right,
So that was my second conscious decision,
right.
that I will go and join a full-time profession. Will be happy with money I get. So I was not greedy about money,
Huh.
but I had a choice how to spend my time.
Correct. And
So
that's,
came to
that's the best decision you
75
have made.
years.
So
And
to
so I
give this
continued
world
doing
a
theater
great artist like you.
like for 45 years,
Yeah.
along with Jawahar Patel, Sati Jayakar and others.
Yeah.
And then I realized during that time,
Yeah.
these are not separate things. One complements the other.
Hmm.
You study human mind in
Hmm.
psychiatry
Yeah.
and look for solutions how to change your behavior.
Hmm.
And you do theater and films and act to understand the way why human beings behave the way they do.
Hmm.
So doing theater and reading literature, seeing films,
Mhm.
helped me to understand human behavior,
Hmm.
and psychiatry helped me to find ways to change that behavior if it was required. So that journey, again,
Hmm.
was a parallel journey.
Amazing.
And so
You,
I decided,
yeah.
by the time I retired, I had enough experience of life.
Hmm.
And so I decided to change
Hmm.
the terminology that I'm
Hmm.
not a psychiatrist, I'm a nutritionist.
Acha.
Yes,
Ah.
I describe psychological diet
Ah.
or cinematic diet for healthy development of mind.
Hmm.
So they're complementary. So they go hand in hand.
Great, great. You had traveled to Berlin in the 70s, and there you found something called the Grips Theater. movement, and you brought that to India, and you have used that to give a voice to a lot of the socio-cultural issues in India, like they were doing in Berlin. So tell us a little bit about that and how you adopted it for the Indian model. What are the changes you made?
So I was impressed with that theater.
Hmm.
What you said, correct. I heard about it when I went for Gashiram. Then
Ah.
I visited. I happened to meet Folker, came to know about that theater,
Hmm.
and I was impressed. So I asked him if I could do a hospitation there. So
Hmm.
in 84 and 85, I spent 6 months at Griff's Theatre, understanding the concept.
Hmm.
And as I told you, it was based on Alice Miller's. So their themes for children were realistic,
Hmm.
but it was a Brechtian style. Howsoever serious theme may be, play should be playful.
Hmm.
So a lot of fun, a lot of music,
Wow.
a lot of theatricality. But the issues was lack of playgrounds, double standard behavior of adults, so empowerment to children. And I found it funny, like the first play,
Hmm.
which is a minor miracle called Matsun Mili,
Hmm.
is about a class difference, a middle class and a working class, fear of darkness, value of friendship. It doesn't have a story. But the most interesting thing I found is the first scene of that play is mother trying to put a 6-year-old to bed.
Hmm.
And he finds 1,000 excuses not to go to bed. This is a universal situation. And that play has been done in 28 countries successfully.
Mhm.
And we did it, and it was a great success. In India, it has been done in 4 languages.
Uh-huh.
So the second play was about rebel against authoritarian father
Hmm.
and the place of woman in the society.
Hmm.
Again, a phenomenal play. So I was sort of caught, and it worked so beautifully in India.
Wow.
So it became a self-sustained movement. And 35 years we are doing grips
Wow.
because it's that's where I learned the term smuggling. Because
Huh.
they have a big department
Mm-hmm.
where they study pedagogy, but they don't like the term pedagogy.
Okay.
So the Volker and his famous director Wolfgang Kohleder, they
Hmm.
said the play has to be fun. So we smuggle education
Hmm.
in the garb of entertainment.
Huh.
So it makes you think.
Yeah.
That's the fun of it. And
Beautiful.
I learned that
Yeah.
how to smuggle education in the garb
Wow.
of theater. So the information you bring with plays has to
Hmm.
be authentic. And so you don't
Huh.
modify authenticity of information
Hmm.
to make it entertaining. So don't put masala
Huh.
and give wrong information,
Correct.
which eventually I followed while doing my films on Alzheimer,
Huh.
depression,
Right.
or life and death.
Hmm.
So the grips experience
Yeah.
has been very vital for me
Hmm.
about relationship between entertainment, education. So the play itself is not education, but play should generate interest
Hmm.
because without interest, you don't learn anything.
True.
I mean, without interest, you don't even follow a girl to adolescence. So you must be interested in the girl. So
Right.
you must be interested in the issue.
Right.
And if you're interested in the issue,
Yeah.
you automatically your brain starts thinking.
True.
So in short, that is what grips. And
Wow.
they have place for different age groups
Uh-huh.
and then for youth,
I see.
which leads to regular theatre.
Mm-hmm.
In this short interview, that's all I can say.
No, that's great. That's a lot of
That if
information
that
that you have.
movement runs on its own for 35 years,
Hmm.
it has some vital elements.
Right, right.
And for me, it was important because
Hmm.
success of Ghashiram
Ah,
and that role of Nana,
yes.
very premature in my theatrical life.
Right.
So everybody came, and when they talked of my other place, they said, but
Ah,
your Ghashiram role was fantastic.
yeah. Yeah.
So I'd almost come up to conclusion,
Hmm.
give up theater.
I'm glad you didn't.
So Grips brought a breath of fresh air,
Right.
which I could learn later in films.
Hmm.
So now I find theater and films
Hmm.
are tools,
Yeah.
are means, and not the end. So I really enjoyed doing the theater.
Rightly said. And your very first association with theater in North America also was very interesting, I think, a few years ago. Uh, could you tell us a little bit more about your experiences here in America during that time when you visited?
Very funny, 85,
Huh,
I was a part of theater delegation which was invited.
huh,
19 theater practitioners from 19 countries
hmm,
and United States Information Service
hmm,
took orientation
mhm,
in Washington for us and divided us in two groups, one going clockwise, one going anti-clockwise. And we saw different theaters,
hmm.
regional theaters, then coming to New York, Broadway, off of Broadway. And so we learned about commercial theater,
Mhm.
state sponsored, town sponsored regional theaters, and off of Broadway, what we call amateur in India,
Hmm.
because of your serious interest. But what the difference I found between Europe and America, here in Europe, because in 80, I went to Europe with Gashiram and I came to America in 86. The sequence of inquiry in Europe was what kind of theater we were doing,
Hmm.
how we were doing it.
Hmm.
Second, when we were thinking of coming to Europe. And third, how are we going to fund it? The sequence in America was
Ah,
who was going to fund it?
ah,
When we were thinking of doing it, and nobody really asked me what kind of theater we were doing. They were all telling us what kind of theater they do, and they are best.
ah,
We were a group of 19 theater practitioners, and when we met for summing up in New York,
hmm.
the common experience was everybody was keen on showing us what theater they did in America,
Hmm.
but not a single person was interested in knowing what kind of theater we were doing back home.
Ah.
Money mattered.
Hmm.
Thinking mattered. So if somebody asks you, like our attendant, morning would meet us, hi Mohan, how are you? And she wasn't there to listen to my answer. So my gut feeling when I came to America was, this is not a different country, this is a different planet.
Right.
Here, everybody was interested in promoting self
Wow.
and not necessarily interested in finding about rest of the world. Lot of things were cognitive,
Hmm.
oriented, planned, but I learned it was not so.
Hmm.
People had to do it because of the lifestyle. It was so fast. So I was surprised to see people brushing in their cars. I was surprised to see that at 8 o'clock,
Yeah.
they will do anything for a patient lying in the
Wow.
but at 7:45 they want to.
Wow.
They divided their life, professional and personal.
Hmm.
They work from Monday to Friday, like
Hmm.
nobody,
Yeah.
looking forward for their weekend holidays.
Hmm. I think you got it right. You captured the whole American spirit, very nicely.
No, I'll tell you a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
When I came 10
Yeah.
years ago,
Hmm.
I landed at New Jersey,
Hmm.
walking through immigration and saw a big board
Hmm.
that when this airport was built, the life expectancy
Wow.
was 60 years.
Hmm.
Today is 80 years. Insure yourself. It was put by insurance company.
Ah.
I went to my brother's house. I
Ah.
saw three holdings that every third child born today will live 100 years.
Hmm.
Please insure yourself. It was put by insurance company.
Okay. In
It,
in recent years, you have been involved with some groundbreaking projects as an actor, as a producer, and you made this very nice amalgamation between your career as a psychiatrist and your passion for acting and theater and films. You have, given us some really poignant short films focused on issues facing senior citizens, mental health issues, and various such very touchy subjects that are considered a little bit touchy in India, of course. Films like Purana Pyar, Astu, Diti, and a more recent one, Ode. Could you tell us a little bit about these projects and what your inspiration was for them?
coming with Jabbar Patel and other friends, first thing we learned is to do socially relevant theater
Hmm.
with grips, same thing.
Hmm.
So to smuggle reality.
Hmm.
So anything which is connected with social reality around interested me.
Hmm.
So that's what you will see in films I produce, the plays I produce for children and everything. And now my latest concern was humanity in medicine with this kind of thing. Corporatization of everything,
Hmm.
everything. So I try to see and spell around.
Wow.
Money can't be bottom line for everything. Today, the word investment, the word association is with money. When you forget there is something more important than money to invest. That's time. There are two terms. You spend money or you invest money. Similarly, you spend time or you invest time. You may have money, you may not have money where you are born. But at birth, all of us have more or less same amount of time. Because your life expectancy is decided not separately for rich people and poor people. Common. So how you invest your time decides your short-term, long-term gains. So in terms of business management, if you invest your time in things you love to do, your life expectancy will be preserved. If you have a lot of money, because what you can earn by investing time, you cannot earn by investing money. Investing 10 years in something would give you a skill which cannot be bought with plenty of money. So focus, understand investment. Why you invest, what you desire. What you desire is abstract. Love, satisfaction, being wanted, meaning to life. Earning, focusing on money and material things may not really give you everything. That is very important for me. So, you have to live. Your abilities will help you to live. But your interest will tell you what to live for. So make the right combination. Don't make money as the bottom line. Learn to invest time, not only money. Spend time, invest time. Money you can only spend. Because in order to earn money, you have to invest time. If you invest all your time in earning money, you can't buy everything with that money. But if you invest your time every day, even if you have less money, you can have more meaningful life. Choice is yours. You can earn a lot and buy a useless life. Or you can invest your time and have a meaningful life along with money. So, be friends, as my veteran humorist said. Do what you have to do for living. You must do it. but make friends
Mm.
with any of the art or sport. That will tell you what to live for.
Mm.
Because all those things are connected with your sensory systems.
Mm.
Seeing, listening, smelling, tasting.
Mm.
Here in India, they're called Jnanendriyas. So Jnanendriyas are very important, not only thinking and
Mm.
intelligence. And these things help you. Art helps you. That's the purpose of
Wow.
center stage with ICS too.
Wow.
That's why I talk to people with
Wow.
this art. Isn't that important?
Very, absolutely. And we are very fortunate that you have, chosen to invest your time in these very beautiful projects and bringing these gems to us. So, we consider ourselves fortunate that we get to enjoy these gems of films and theater that you bring to us. Dr. Agashe, before we end, would you like to leave our viewers with a thought or with anything that you want to share with us?
I thought I am going to spend some time
Huh.
responding to the questions which have come. And that is why I stopped here. Otherwise,
Huh.
because
Huh.
you have to work hard even to earn money. So you have to work hard to make your life meaningful.
Right.
Today, Corona, we
Huh.
are facing everywhere. That is because humans have started feeling they are more powerful than the nature.
Hmm.
Nature has found that humans don't understand that they are a part of nature. Let's start looking at our life.
Huh.
When we start, we are a part of our mother.
Hmm.
You're not independent.
Hmm.
For 9 months, you see a mass of matter growing,
Hmm.
one mass of matter. And at about 9 months, it throws out another mass of matter.
Hmm.
So you see two. But that mass of matter is not a being.
Hmm.
Your mother is a being. So we wait to see that other mass of matter functions.
Hmm.
When it functions, it is given a status of being.
Huh.
And then the cord is cut umbilically. And from one being, there are two beings. But don't forget,
Huh.
you have been a part of your mother till the end of your life. That you started as a part of your mother.
Hmm.
Similarly, the human race is a part of Mother Nature.
Hmm.
And when we forget that
Hmm.
and we start thinking we have a war against Corona and COVID,
Huh.
it's exactly the same thing like World War II, World War One. COVID has come as an emissary of the nature to remind you.
Hmm.
Stop your greed.
Hmm.
Realize your need. Your material needs are very few.
Hmm.
Corona has given you chance to pause, think. Your life will change,
Hmm.
but that is to make you think. Are you really the supreme?
Hmm.
You want to go with the nature as friends, or you
Right.
want to go against the nature?
Yeah.
If you decide to go against the nature, your end is assured.
Hmm.
If you still remember, you're a part of the nature and go with the nature, you can find meaningful ways of
Hmm.
living by identifying
Hmm.
the difference between your need and greed.
Hmm.
So this time has been provided for that.
That is very true, very rightly and beautifully put, Dr. Agashe. Thank you again so much for being on our show today. We really appreciate you giving your time to us, especially today. Happy birthday once again. Hope you have a lovely evening.
Again, this birthday is notional. You're growing every.
Huh.
In fact, now I'm not growing. I'm growing. Accepting that
Huh.
is another thing. In Indian
Yeah.
concept, there is a concept of rebirth.
Hmm.
And now I believe in America also,
Hmm.
this regression therapy talks about it. I don't know about the scientific validity of it, but
Huh.
as a preventive medicine concept, it's a beautiful concept
Hmm.
because that helps you to prevent your greediness.
Hmm.
Because if something is remaining, you can say next life. As against this concept, this is the only life. And you want everything in this life. So
Huh.
snatch, scratch.
Huh.
Life is to be lived happily, not to be stolen.
Yeah.
So think, and arts will help you to do that.
Sure.
Music, theater, literature.
Hmm.
It helps you to bridge the gap between the real and virtual.
Sure.
Just imagine
Hmm.
if COVID would have been there before
Mm-hmm.
your digital world is in place,
True.
what would have happened? But don't get lost in the virtual world.
Huh.
Identify,
Hmm.
which Gita has said that world is Maya,
Hmm.
physical one, which Lord Krishna has said.
Huh.
Now you know you are living almost in a virtual world.
True. That is true.
When I meet you like this, you are Maya for me.
Yeah.
When you see me like this, I'm Maya.
Correct. Huh.
So there is a relationship between physical, psychological,
Mm-hmm.
spiritual.
Hmm.
Realize that. So
Hmm.
mind is not seen, is abstract.
Hmm.
But you see the body,
Hmm.
you perceive the mind in COVID. Yeah. Art is like that. Thank you.
Dr. Agashe, when you were in New Jersey, you did a play Nevermind with the Epic Actors Workshop. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, yes, because it was probably a very different kind of play which they were doing for the first time.
Hmm.
And the characters in the play, it took a long time for them to realize that is double the alter ego and the ego. How you behave publicly, what you are behaving privately with yourself. That's what creates humor in that play. So these two pairs, a man
Hmm.
who wants to, uh, who likes this woman,
Hmm.
but he's not sure whether you should go for ask and straight for it. So he's trying those games people play. And so his inner mind,
Wow.
and she, who also likes him, but
Wow.
isn't sure whether he likes her.
Wow.
So the games are which mind plays with. So that is
Wow.
why these two characters, the four characters are there, but
Wow.
two are real characters, two are their alter egos.
Wow.
That is what creates the humor of the play in boxing. And it took a little while, probably, because I wasn't sure whether they were familiar with this kind of humor.
Hmm.
But as they picked it up, then it came naturally.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, towards the end,
Hmm.
I had a family problem where my brother was seriously in the hospital,
Oh.
and actually I lost him 2 days after our performance.
Oh.
And so the crucial
Hmm.
part of the rehearsals
Hmm.
was generally always in the end.
Hmm.
But I fortunately have a good team who rehearsed well
Hmm.
in the last. Because by then they had the gist, they had understood this humor
Hmm.
and how to do it. And so I myself was surprised personally to
Wow.
see the reaction of the audience,
Wow.
which they were not sure till they got it.
Wow.
And I wish if we had some more days and a few more performances.
Wow.
So that was a very unique experience for me.
Hmm.
In order to, because I was working for the first time,
Hmm.
they were also working for the first time. Having lived in America,
Wow.
they probably had different concepts of theater, humor.
Wow.
But with Mahesh Dattani, I think,
Wow.
because then they had also done uh, some plays with uh, our American friend.
Yeah.
With Mahesh,
Hmm.
I'm sure we got this idea again. So it was very enriching experience for me actually.
Hmm.
And I think it was also, I hope it had some continuity.
Hmm.
Because when you work, then you
Wow.
try to work again with the same people, like grips.
Wow. Right.
Then probably would have developed into something, but maybe it will still happen. You never know. Because I love that group. And I still hope at one point of time,
Yeah.
maybe like Mahesh had done. Now with
Right.
Mahesh, they know they have done things repeatedly.
Yeah.
So something may happen still.
Absolutely. We would
Enjoy.
love to have you here again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are very fortunate that Dr. Agashe was able to do this interview with us on his special day. And as you probably noticed, he was constantly getting calls and messages from well wishers for his birthday. And now, folks, it is time once again for our center stage theater highlight. As Dr. Agashe rightly said, we are all born doing theater and continue to do so in some form or another throughout our lives. Theater was practiced as an art form in India dating back to the 2nd century BC. Yes, BC, you heard that right. All-night dance dramas known as Yakshagna, combining song and dance based on mythological stories, have been practiced for centuries in all parts of the country. Natya Shastra, which involves theatre and dance, is an inseparable art form in Indian culture and present in the earliest works of Indian literature, including the Vedas. The ancient Greeks used drama for catharsis. As anyone who has ever acted knows, theatre can tap into emotions, build self esteem, and tap into feelings which one never even knew existed. A lot of work has recently been done on drama therapy, which uses drama and theatre processes intentionally to achieve therapeutic goals. These can include anything from telling your story, expressing your feelings, emotional and physical assimilation, improvement of interpersonal skills, and personal growth. That's it for today's episode. I'm your host, Anaita Mantri, signing off. I'll see you next time in Center Stage with ICS Theatre. Until then, please take care and support the arts. Thank you all for watching and have a great night.